Hey folks, James W. Falcon back for another segment, another book promotional segment for my latest publication, Becoming a Self-Love Practitioner. I'm back on today because as I thought about what I said in my previous book promotion segment, I stumbled on a few things that I feel like require me to delve into a little bit deeper. So I wanted to do that. So my last book promotional segment, I talked about how becoming a self-love practitioner when allows you to address your needs on a regular, consistent basis to a point where you thoroughly take care of yourself, the things that matter to you. And doing that early in the day can allow you to get out of the gate in a very productive, efficient manner, qualifying you, freeing you up, alleviating and eliminating burdens that you carry so that you can better serve friends and family. And I used a very humorous example of a longtime friend that asked me to come help him organize his garage one Saturday. Go back and check that out. By the way, all of my book promotional things, everything that I do can be found on my Facebook page, Encouragement by Design. And or, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, you can feel free to find out more about the book promotion, all the segments, everything else that I'm doing in my Helps Network by visiting my website, encouragementiskey.org, just to put a little shameless plug in for things I'm doing in the bigger picture, bigger scale. Anyway, going back to my point of doing this particular segment. So then I talked about the previous segment. I talked about becoming a self-love practitioner allows us to address our needs to the degree that we begin to silence and eliminate the competing voices that happen in our head that prevent us from really being in the moment when we are with other people. So when somebody asks you to come to their aid and you show up, if you don't have the things done that you need to be minimally successful, by the time you get to where the other person is, the voice inside your head is saying to you, hey, why are we here helping her when we need the same kind of help back at the house? Or you know your husband, your wife is going to browbeat you to death when you get home. Why are you here helping them organize when you know he or she's asked you to organize the den, the study, put the shelves up in the garage back at your house? So you have these competing things happening in your outer space and realm with what you want and with what you want to do in your heart, but the voice is inside saying you left something undone. You didn't do a particular thing you should have done. There's a box that you haven't checked yet. There are calls you haven't made. There are emails you have yet to read or send. So all that stuff that typically goes on in our head provides a competing kind of a focus when you know good and well that there are things that have been grossly undone in your life that desperately need your attention. Yet in those moments, you've chosen to give that time and attention to someone else, which is noble, but it's not the best way to live. It's not the healthiest approach to take in life and towards your relationships, which leads me to something else that I'm going to talk about my next broadcast. I'll just touch on it briefly here. That discussion leads into a discussion that's necessary to have regarding boundaries, which I also cover in my book, because you can't love yourself. You can't be a self-love practitioner and not understand and value boundaries. Let me say that again. You cannot be a self-love practitioner and not understand and value boundaries. And I cover all of these things and more in this book, Becoming a Self-Love Practitioner. Go to my website, order yourself a copy, get an instant download, and begin benefiting from these principles immediately. So back to the the point of the broadcast. So the last broadcast was talking about addressing your needs to silence the condemning, competing, self-critical voice that plays in our heads constantly whenever there are things that are left undone in our lives. Today, I want to jump into that a little bit more. And I want to ask you this question. So many people, as a life coach, as a career and business coach, as a relationships and marriage coach, so many times I talk to people and they reach out to people like me, coaches, and they have sometimes some very heavy stories, things that propel them into motion to do things that they were not willing to do before. But oftentimes, time and circumstances put so much pressure on people that they are willing to at least open their understanding to the possibilities of things that they had not tried before. And unfortunately, they're having last ditch efforts to do so. For example, the largest part of my practice has always been marriage and relationship coaching in general. Sometimes that's business relationships, sometimes it's the whole family, but primarily the largest segment of the people I've served in my coaching practice have been married couples and couples in general. And what often happens, what prompts normally the phone call to me or the email or the text message, and it's generally under duress, is that someone in the relationship gave a partner an ultimatum. If you don't call someone for help, I'm packing up and I'm leaving. I'm done. If we don't do something different, I'm out. So figure it out and figure it out. So oftentimes I get these frantic calls, generally from men whose partners have told them, if you don't call this guy, if you don't get us counseling or coaching, I'm out. So they call and you can hear it in their voices. They are timid, they are skittish, and they're like, hey, bro, look, what are your rates? How quickly can we get this started? And they are ready to move forward in a way that they have never been before because they're under duress, because their partners, like I've had it, and the partner that's pushed them has felt like they've dragged their feet on certain issues, so they reach out to me. So my question to you is this. After having heard all kinds of stories, you can just imagine what kind of stories have hit my ears over the year that I've had my coaching practice up and running. I get all types from all kinds of people. And it's a very human kind of a situation. So I haven't gotten anything weird or something that wasn't common, but the stories, the depth, the pain is all things that people of all walks of life, all colors experience. And part of that is driven by the fact that oftentimes I hear people say stuff like, if I had just done X, Y, and Z, I knew I wasn't ready for this relationship. Or when he or she said or did X, Y, or Z, I knew I shouldn't have responded the way I did. That, I've always struggled with this particular thing. And here it goes, biting me in the hind parts again. What I hear and what I'm communicating to you is the need, the recognition that people have to work on aspects of themselves, but they don't take the time to do it. Listen, my listening friend, I'm going to hit you really hard with this fact because I want to help. That's why I wrote the book. That's why I'm a life coach. That's why I've opened a life coaching practice. I'm out here sincerely wanting to help people. And I have gotten all kinds of education and certifications to be able to do that at the highest levels possible. Go to my website. You'll understand my heart's cry, which has always and forever been to help people. And I'm sharing this. I've written this book and I'm presenting this with fervor and passion so that I can hopefully light a flame under you to get the book and to start benefiting with the principles that I share. And it all amounts to this. We all could use a crash course in concentrating on something, some aspect of our being to help make us better. We all could and we all should. There's not a perfect human being on planet Earth. but we fail to take the opportunities. You not getting this book, you'd be failing to take a great opportunity and a huge step forward for your personal growth and development's sake. But as I know human beings, many of you will sit, you'll go, hey, this guy he's coming across pretty believably. I like his background. He looks pretty sharp. He's believable. And you won't make a step to order the book. And you will miss an opportunity. But here's what happens. You can only miss so many opportunities. And I'm not trying to browbeat you or to guilt trip you into getting the book. I'm just communicating from my heart, spirit, soul to yours. Please don't pass up this opportunity, because invariably things start to stack up until eventually you get to a place where you have a hit the wall experience, and then it's too late to cry or to look back and to say, I wish I shoulda, coulda, woulda. By then you've already hit the wall. By then the only thing appropriate to do is to clean up the pieces and to try to put old Humpty Dumpty back together again and to get back up on that wall. What I am coming to you to say is, don't let things get to that point. You have an exit off of an incredibly crowded, busy, bumper to bumper freeway. The exit is getting this book. Or you can just continue to move on down the road and find yourself in the worst traffic jam possible. And then you'll be way past the exit, and the next one won't be for miles down the road, and you're stuck crawling along the freeway, bumper to bumper. I'm using a rush hour traffic analogy to make a bigger, better point, hopefully, that you're understanding. Don't let life jam you up. Take the off-road now. I'm offering you one. And there will be tons of off-roads that will be offered once you get this book. So going back to my story once again. So what becoming a self-love practitioner will allow you to do is to not pass up the opportunities. You'll begin immediately. I'll give you the tools you need to focus on you, to do for yourself what we always put off doing, taking the time to concentrate on you. The reason why businesses don't grow, the reason why relationships fail, the reason why we have a head and a heart full of things that we're going to do, things we promised ourselves and other people we would do, is because we don't take the time, we don't make the time to concentrate and to get the thing done. Becoming a self-love practitioner, that's the name of the game for this. That is the whole crust of the point, is taking the time, making the time to focus on what you need, you, not what you need for your kids, for your wives, husbands, and everybody else. It's you taking the time you need for you. So all the opportunities you keep missing, you don't miss those. Listen, let me tell you what I'm doing right now. My Helps Network, Encouragement is Key. Just in the past 3 days, I am set and ready to launch 6 new streamcasts. 6. I'm not saying that to boast. Hear my heart and soul. I'm saying that to tell you, know why I can do so much? And this book is my 20th publication. Do you know why I can do so much? Because I take the time to focus and concentrate on my needs so that I am expertly prepared for growth, poised for the next big opportunities to strike, poised to participate in the next thing that I see coming along. And I've built an entire helps network that basically serves as my playground, that allows me to create on a grand scale to help other people. This podcast, this book promotion is one of those. My Helps Network has 4 thriving divisions of 16, now soon will be 20 to 25 projects that are all happening at the same time. And everything is inspiration, motivation, and encouragement based. Everything. And I do everything I do absolutely free. Book sales help to fuel the cost of any overhead or supplies, materials, whatever that I need in the network. But apart from that, my point is this, is that I can function at that level because I am expert at taking care of me. So I know how to apply those principles to other things. So the studiousness that I have in taking care of my needs, I apply to my relationships. I apply to anything in my helps network. I apply to writing books, producing books. Listen, this whole book from cover to cover, again, I'm not boasting, I designed everything. Front cover, back cover. I put together all the material inside the book. I did the editing. The entire project is me. Not to boast, but to tell you, that is an extraordinary, that is an immense requirement of effort, time, and it's how do I do that? And this is the 20th time I've done this. How am I able to do that? Especially after having had a stroke and still in the quote unquote ongoing recovery process. And I've done 3 and 4 books sometimes at the same time. Research savvy, scholastically feasible books, using real sources, real information, beautifully laid out. And this since just last summer, this is my 8th publication just since last summer, or more specifically, just since the fall. I'm constantly churning out new things. Why? Because I can. Because I am a self-love practitioner. And I know how to apply the attention, the time, the detail, the energy, the effort to anything to see it go, to see it develop. Just a real quick shameless plug. This is what I always share with people. If you are in need of a coach of any kind, get yourself a coach. Not one that's just and only certified, because I would strongly recommend that you get a coach who can show you and prove his or her certification in whatever area you need him or her to help you with. But make sure the coach that you get is first certified, and make sure the coach you get, here's the big one. This is a bigger qualification, more so than certification. Make sure any coach you get is a person that truly themselves has a long list of things that they've recently accomplished. With me, every quarter, I have 5 to 6 goals that I have personally, professionally, not to boast and brag. I'm sharing these things to make a very powerful point. Every quarter, I have 5 to 6 personal goals that I develop, I pursue to completion so that something gets accomplished, something that is tangible, something that I can show the general public. Oftentimes, it's something that I can sell, or it's something I can give for a fee or price. This poster behind me, I have that hanging here. It's one of my favorites because I created an entire series of placards and posters that are encouragement based. That poster is my design. I did that. This setup, this office setup, I created all of this. I did all of this. I didn't create it, but I organized it so I can have a good presentation. This whole platform is what I've developed. I've developed this, with the help of some friends and family. But these are just other examples of things that I'm able to do because I'm a self-love practitioner. So I never have the excuse, well, I don't have time. I wish I had a phone. No, I have an idea. I flesh it out. I gather resources. I gather people. I start making a list of the people that I feel will be best able to help me execute. And the thing gets launched sooner than later. I don't have a list of regrets. Oh, I wish I had written a book. I wish I had done a podcast. I wish I would go live. No, I have a list of things that I've checked by the grace of God, things that I accomplish regularly. If I show you just what's been able to have been accomplished just in the past 3 weeks, it would blow your mind. Again, for the last time, I'm not boasting, I'm not bragging. I'm telling you, I am a self-love practitioner, and these principles are extraordinarily evident and effectual in my life. And I want them to be evident and effectual in your life too. Go to my website, encouragementiskey.com. Go to the books tab right at the top of the page. You'll see a copy of the book, a picture. Go down to the bottom of the paragraph of that top of the page, and there's a link. Order the book. I made it available in the first phase, specifically and purposely as an ebook, so you can order it, pay for it, order it, download it, so you can have available in your possession on any of your electronic devices that supports e-reading this book in its entirety. 150 plus pages of powerful, transformational, personal growth and development based information that will change your life. Listen, I'm the first fruits of it. It brought me back from being paralyzed and bedridden to the person you see before you. It'll do wonders for you as well. Order it, pay for it, order it, get it tonight. Begin to read it, put the principles into practice, and become a self-love practitioner so that you can become the best version of yourself and for everyone around you. First for your benefit, and then for theirs, in that order. Until the next time I'm before you, whatever you do, my listening, viewing friend, get, be, and stay encouraged. Take care.